You have my heartfelt thanks for bringing John back. Oh, even the thought of him not coming back makes me. Hey, old man, don't bully my mom. No, that wasn't my intention. Oh, look at him go. Mommy's little knight in shining armor. He's so cool. It's not like that. Quit blabbering stupid stuff about me. John, please wait. May I proceed, Mr. Edgeworth? My actions were unbecoming of one who calls herself a servant of the goddess of the law. I won't ask for your forgiveness, however Judge Courtney, I am not as well acquainted with the goddess of law as you are. However, isn't that goddess is also a mother of other gods? The law makes exceptions for extenuating circumstances. It understands a mother's heart. I'd say perhaps your goddess sympathizes with you more than you think. Mr. Edgeworth. I don't get it. What the heck are you two blabbering about? It's okay, John. I don't have a clue either. Thanks, Kay. It seems the dust has settled on the day one of Patricia Rowland's trial. Yes. While a decision is yet to be reached, I would say a guilty verdict is quite likely. I'm sure a thorough investigation into her connections with Blaze will be conducted as well. After seeing Sebastian today, I know we can put our faith in him. Just like Kay, Sebastian is also in the midst of training for the future ahead. When you say it like that, I guess we have more in common than I thought. Silly. I said a few mean things to him. So the next time we meet, I'd like to apologize to him. I'm sure you'll get your opportunity, but for now... Yes, at present, solving this case is our top priority. Do I have anything? I didn't really gain anything. Kid, you know anything? Okay. They won't know shit. Lang. He has to know something. 3 flower beds and snow. Agent Lang, what's the matter? Something strange. I wasn't able to read the SSS-5 case files until now. Since Blaze had all access, I had all access to that information restricted. Yeah, that's right. And yet I feel like I've seen this exact scene somewhere before. What do you mean? Where did I see this? If I could just remember. He looks deep in thought. I should leave him alone for a while. Maybe you can present these. Mozilla! What are you asking me about that for? I won't say the culprit is a monster, but it seems a little too early to say it's unrelated. If you know anything, then by all means, please. The president always had a Mozilla doll with him. I've got a glimpse of it. On occasion, that's how I know. A Mozilla doll, huh? Indeed, there was one inside the president's plane. So even a foreign president was a fan. Mozilla sure has international appeal. You know how different countries have different sounds for animal noises? Yeah. So I wonder what kind of sound a foreign Mozilla would make. I don't even know what kind of sound a domestic Mozilla would make. This is a 5 incident that occurred 12 years ago. Yes, I should tell you everything. My old man failed to protect the country as #1 VIP. Because of that, he put everything on the line in the hunt for the culprit after the incident. During that time, my old man, he was a lifeless ghost. If he had just got his prey, he might have been able to forgive himself. But that shrew Roland, she managed to get away scot-free. My old man couldn't repay his debt to the president, nor could he unravel the case. And so began the nightmare that our wolf pack still haven't woken up from this day. Satisfied? When his clan's honor was damaged, young Lang's heart was wounded just as badly. Agent Lang, I can sympathize with your father's regrets. However, all we can do is perform a thorough investigation of this case. I hope your words will serve as some kind of clue. That's all you have to say? Sheesh, all that talking was a real waste of time. After the SSS-5 incident, the president completely changed. Well, he must have felt like his trust had been betrayed. I think it's only natural. He got off all ties with the Lang clan, putting an end to the deep bond of trust. My old man wanted to at least apologize in some way. So he tried to go see the president many more times than I can count. Of course, the president refused to meet with him. He wouldn't even give him the time of day. I don't know if it was from the bodyguards, but there were times he'd come back all beaten up. Huh. But me standing around talking about the past doesn't do jack, does it? I shall be the judge of that. For now, keep telling us what you know. You're still as tactless as ever. Well, I figured you'd say as much. The fall of my old man was also the fall of the Lang clan. The family that failed to protect the president, that's what we became. My old man started to investigate the case like he was possessed. Could someone so driven by obsession truly conduct a proper investigation? Sheesh. Sheesh. You really don't pull your punches, Mr. Prosecutor. Don't think I'd blindly trust in my investigation just because he's my old man. His investigation was meticulous, down to the last detail. Apparently, he even conducted a thorough interview with each and every kid at the orphanage. He interviewed every child. I wonder how fruitful his results were. Can I not ask? I don't have anything that I can combine. Yeah, no. Brick. It sure seems, this scene sure puts a chill in my bones. In your bones, Uncle Ray needs a hot babe to keep him warm. Can you please try to be a little more serious? Oh, that's what Kay wants. I guess I have no choice. Miles, this is where it all began. Isn't that right? Yes, I fear that is the case. What was Patricia and Blaze's true goal? There's still many mysteries yet to be solved. Indeed, it's just as you say. Particularly the mystery of what will happen to Kay Ray's love. Isn't it suspenseful? Not even a little. You just couldn't resist, could you, Mr. Shields? Why can't you ever stay serious for more than a minute? I think he's genuinely incapable of staying serious for that long. I vibe with him so goddamn much. They're not gonna tell me anything. They're not gonna tell me anything. What the fuck am I missing? This pillar appears to be burnt. According to the files, it seems there was a fire on the evening of the incident. A fire? Let's see here. Huh? It says that one of the children at the orphanage spilled a kerosene and set it on fire as a prank. Just pranking, bro. I guess that kid had far too much energy. And thanks to that, we can't make out any of the footprints near the main hall. That's fucking planned. Oh, that was the one thing. We've learned pretty much all we can about the situation at the time of the murder. Oh, in that case, is there another scene you'd like to recreate? Yes, would you do the honors? I'd like you to recreate the scene when the victim witnessed the president's kidnapping. Right, I'll recreate the scene based on Mr. Cameron's photo. Beep boop. Mr. Cameron is standing in the middle of the flower beds. Ugh. And the president and his kidnapper is standing on the road. My old man based his initial investigation on this man's eyewitness testimony. As a result, it led him to believe that the kidnapping and this facility were related. And that's how he came to suspect the head of the orphanage, Patricia Rowland. Yeah. But in court, Blaze treated his testimony as if it meant nothing. Why would he do that? Because he was in on it. The president and his kidnapper were not standing inside the orphanage grounds, so a connection between the orphanage and the kidnapping was difficult to prove. Are you fucking kidding me? I can just take one step out of my fucking home into the road and it's like, well, it's obviously not connected at all. Really? I see, it's not like they were seen inside the orphanage after all. No matter how much evidence the detectives gather at the crime scene, it doesn't mean squat if the prosecutor won't use it in court. True! Blaze DeBest had some kind of connection with Patricia Rowland. I figured they had some kind of deal going on. In other words, you think that Blaze was one of the kidnappers. However, your father was convinced that Patricia Rowland was the culprit. Your father was a highly capable investigator, I presume. Might he have had some other basis for his conclusion based on that, besides the eyewitness testimony? Yeah, I figured he did, but I had no idea what it was. My old man never really talked that much about this case. Agent Lang's father, Dai Long Lang, President Huang's most trusted confidant. The truth he discovered was suppressed by Blaze DeBest. First, we must find that hidden truth. Yeah. Well, first, maybe. What did Blaze dig out? Maybe this. Yes. If we suppose that Blaze was one of the kidnappers, it becomes more likely that what he dug up yesterday is connected to the abduction. Huh? What is it? I figured it out. It was treasure. Treasure. Couldn't Blaze have dug up the ransom money? The $100 million ransom. No. Buried in the ground until the heat had died down. Certainly possible. No, it's not. What? There's not enough room. You know how much you'd have to fucking dig out to have $100 fucking million buried? I know, right? Like, even on, like, fucking stacks of hundreds, we're talking thousands of stacks. Literally. Whatever. Cameron took a photo of the president from this spot. And he also called Miss Crane, right? And at that time, the killer was already behind him. Holding a murderous brick. Cameron took a photo of the president from this spot. And he also called Miss Crane, right? And at that time, the killer was already behind him, holding the murderous brick. I thought it was going to be different. It wasn't. I won't rest until I've inspected everything. My eye! About this snowman. When we recreated the scene where Mr. Cameron was killed, it already melted. Its scarf was soggy, and the one button was missing. Indeed, at this stage, it appears that most of its original form was still intact. Although there's one spot that looks unnaturally lacking. Poor thing, I bet some naughty kid must have plucked it off. Although from a thief's perspective, that kid does have some promise. Was it plucked off by one of the children at the orphanage? No. Perhaps. Just taken by an entirely different person altogether. Thank you. This spot's somehow related. I don't know why Cameron has it, though. That's what's weird. This snowman. When do you say it's missing something? Ah, it's right. Its right eye is missing. Precisely. And what's more, the missing eye happens to be in our possession. That button that Mr. Cameron was holding on to. I've got the exact same design as the snowman's left eye. It's got. If we assume this button was indeed the snowman's eye, a huge contradiction arises. If this button is the snowman's eye, what contradiction arises? Location of the president, right? Location of the victim. Oh god, like, isn't it like all three? Unless this isn't the front. Grabs. Because he's grabbing it from, like, that side. And he would have been hit. I would have assumed he grabbed it when he was hit. But no. I have no idea. I feel like it could just be all of these. Location of the snowman. That just seems silly. The president's still there. It'd have to be the location of the victim. It's a picture. The victim was holding on to the button. Furthermore, the button was stained with blood. In other words, he grabbed the button after he was attacked. For example, if we were to picture it this way. After being struck in the back of the head, Mr. Cameron lost his balance. As he was falling, he reached out with his hand towards the nearby snowman. However, it could not support his weight, and he had collapsed while still grasping the button. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'd imagined. Huh? That means Mr. Cameron was near the snowman when he was attacked. Indeed. At the very least, he must have been within arm's reach. However, yeah, he was over here. It's quite clear that he would not have been able to reach it from his current position. But Mr. Cameron's footprints only lead towards the flower bed. Can we be certain that those footprints really are Mr. Cameron's? Seems we'll need to investigate them one more time. Understood. I'll recreate the time the body was discovered scene one more time. We weren't done over here. There's two sets. His footprints should match up with Mr. Cameron's shoes, right? Let's inspect them again. These footprints. Are they really Mr. Cameron's? They're from size 11 shoes, and those huge footprints match up with Mr. Cameron's shoes. No matter how you look at it, they're moving steadily towards the center of the flower beds. But when Mr. Cameron was attacked, he grabbed the button from the snowman. Even with the Great Thief's peak human conditioning, your arm just can't reach that far. Let alone an ordinary civilian. It would be completely impossible. The footprints come from the shoes worn by the victim, just as the case files say. However, does that mean Mr. Cameron was the owner of these shoes? I switch shoes. We should re-examine Mr. Cameron's shoes. Now, this is elaborate if they fucking switched his shoes around. These shoes should match the footprints. However, these shoes, seems like they were not the ones originally worn by the victim. What do you mean? If you look closely, you'll see the laces were tied up strangely. And the size doesn't seem to fit quite right either. What? That would mean these huge footprints leading up to the victim's feet were most likely made by someone other than the victim. So then the footprints leading to and from the victim's head must be Mr. Cameron's. No, not necessarily. They seem a little too small to be the victim's footprints. So none of the footprints are his? Then which way did Mr. Cameron walk from? It's quite simple. The victim did not walk here on his own accord, but rather, he was carried here after he was murdered by the culprit. The question now becomes, where was he killed and carried from? Perhaps it was near the snowman after all. Snowman, Mr. Snowman. Mr. Cameron's body was moved. If we consider the button he was holding on to, it's highly likely that he was killed near the snowman. Then who took the picture? That's the question. I should take a closer look. I'll rest until I've inspected everything. Meh. Oh, the brick's missing. Okay, I see it. The snowman has become a sad sight to look at. Can't be helped. Snow and ice both melt away with time. Just like the mysteries of the cases you've solved, Mr. Edgeworth. As time passes, those mysteries melt away while you continue to keep your cool. You do realize I'm racking my brain trying to solve these mysteries during a case. Eureka! Huh? There's a brick missing here. Yep. Logic. The rest are all here in order. It's strange that only this one is missing. How didn't they notice that? Brick. Perhaps the missing brick was the one used as the murder weapon. Yeah, it seems to be just the right size to fit it in that gap perfectly. As I thought, it seems the murder actually occurred near the snowman. But the button Mr. Cameron was holding and the murder weapon came from here. Also, if we assume that the killer picked up the brick near the snowman, and then tried to sneak up behind Mr. Cameron. Oh, Mr. Cameron totally would have seen the person picking up the brick. Exactly. Okay, please update the recreation. Mr. Cameron was not in the middle of the flower beds, but near the snowman. Okay, I'm on it. Yeah, this just looks stupid as fuck. What's going on? None of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. But he has to be taking a picture of something that's not the entrance. It has to be like a side entrance. But even then, there's no point in this fucking snowman. No matter how you look at it, this is strange. Oh my fucking god, it's a setup fucking picture. It's a setup fucking picture! Because it's not logical. It's not a real picture. It's fake. It's posed. Christ. He was already dead. All the people involved in the case are gathered in the same place. Did we make a mistake here or something? One piece of evidence this recreation is based on is odd. If I had to choose which piece of evidence is fake. Which piece of evidence is highly likely to be fake? The picture. This picture's fake. This whole thing's fake. Was this photo really taken by Mr. Cameron? No. This is after his death. Huh? What do you mean? We have proven that whoever killed Mr. Cameron also moved the body. For what reason would they have to deliberately move his body? Perhaps the culprit wanted to falsify the scene that Mr. Cameron witnessed. And that's why they took a fake photo. They made the president stand under the streetlight and took a photo with Cameron's camera. It would have been quite simple. Now that you mention it, Mr. Cameron's camera only had one photo on it, right? Indeed. No likely the original roll of film had been removed from the camera. And after loading a new roll of film into the camera, the fake photo was taken. That's what they probably buried. I see. So this photo must have been taken after Mr. Cameron was killed, right? Yep. Exactly. This was not the scene Mr. Cameron actually witnessed. It's likely that the photo is forged evidence. Then where did Mr. Cameron witness the president and his kidnapper? The photo isn't the only piece of evidence that indicates what Mr. Cameron witnessed. The testimony left on the answering machine. Precisely. We should listen to the recording one more time and confirm what was said. Where could the president and his kidnapper have been? Somewhere off screen. Like over here. Oh my god, they're just in the middle right there. They're over there? So what's the basis for that claim? Do I really need the basis for my claims? In other words, you don't know, do you? Fuck. So it wasn't there. Oh, I actually probably should have fucking read. Let's try remembering what he said. Didn't he say something about the situation at the scene? Indeed, Mr. Cameron's testimony should provide a major clue. Okay, you know what? I'll just fucking read it. Or listen to it. Whatever. No, let me go back. Let me go back. Over here?
Take that.
Fuck. Okay, you know what? Fuck off. You weren't letting me pull it up. Oh, Jill, are you asleep? In front of the facility now, but there's something not right. He's here, is here of all places. And what's more, crap, the light just went off. We can barely see a thing now. I can't believe it. It almost looks like he's being kidnapped. Here of all places. I'm in front of the facility. He's inside the building. Okay. Fuck off. Okay. Stop bullying me. I went off. In the window. Oh, yeah. Over here. Fuck. It'll either be inside or out. Right here. Fuck it. Mr. Cameron said this on the answering machine. The light just went off. I can barely see a thing now. Oh my god, in the picture the light was on. Probably. Oh no, the light was on the other side. But you still can see things. You can see that clearly. There are only two places here where the lights are broken. The light by the orphanage. Okay, could you please update the recreation? Roger. Now this seems more likely. So the kidnapper was near the orphanage. Indeed. With this, we've shown the connection between the orphanage and the kidnapping. So that's why they moved the body and took a fake photo to create false testimony. In order to remove any suspicion towards the orphanage in court. Yes. With this, the state of the recreation has changed completely. The time the body was discovered, Cena was probably been greatly impacted as a result. Now let's go check it out right away. Preparations are ready. Since the state of the recreation has changed once again, I should press the Y button and select change recreation. Let's give it a try.